Some marriages don't feel strained. They feel doomed and broken. Years of resentment, arguments, betrayal, emotional distance, disappointment, a lack of either party submitting. You simply are roommates. You even wonder if there can be any repair. But broken does not always mean finished.
Welcome to the HHP podcast. My name is Chris Frankie, and I am the senior pastor of HFF.church in Oklahoma City. Join me and others from around the country as we talk all things Bible, church, and family. We may be right, we may be heretical, but that's for you to decide. Drop a like, a share, a comment, subscribe, and let's get to it.
If both parties are willing to humble themselves, to pursue the truth of their relationship, which is love, not the truth of whether you or them was right in every argument that's ever existed, and invite Jesus into the process, restoration is absolutely possible. And here are 5 biblical places to start. Before I do that, my wife and I have counseled people all over the country for the last 20 years, and we're not experts, and we're not even licensed therapists, but we are people who have made a lot of really bad decisions in our own marriages and needed counsel from other people throughout the years. In fact, some of the board members of our very church are people who have walked with us since 2007 with an emphasis on creating a good and healthy marriage, even when we mess up. So number 1, stop trying to win. One of the fastest ways to destroy your marriage is to make every disagreement about who is right. Eventually, your spouse stops feeling like they're even your partner, and they just feel like they're your opponent or they're your enemy. That doesn't mean that you never disagree. That's impossible. It means that the goal of the conversation changes. Instead of asking, how do I prove my point? Ask, how do we solve this together? Because if you solve it without them, you haven't solved it. A healthy marriage is not just about two people fighting each other. It's about 2 people fighting for the marriage together. And so next time you find yourself in an argument, stop yourself and say in your brain, this is not my enemy. This person is actually on the same team as me. What are we actually trying to fix? Or am I just going to continue to fight? Most of the time, people can't get outside of the need to be right. Number 2, you have to man up and own your part. Broken marriages stay broken because both people are waiting for the other person to change first. Jesus gives us a very uncomfortable principle in Matthew 7. Before you're focusing on the speck in somebody else's eye, you have to look at the plank in your own. And this is marriage advice too, not just inner church advice. You may not be responsible for everything that went wrong in every argument of your marriage. I would think you wouldn't be. But be responsible for your part. Maybe you become harsh. Maybe you become withdrawn. Maybe you stop listening, or you become controlling, or you stop showing affection. Men especially who have this, I want to be the leader of my house. You cannot be the leader of your house if you're only the leader of your house when things go well. And leaders make mistakes too. Maybe you've carried that resentment instead of actually addressing the problem. Repentance begins when you stop saying, but you, and you start looking at, Lord, what needs to change in me? You cannot cause another person to come to repentance, but you can clean your heart. And if you are the leader of your home, you better start with yourself, because nobody is going to follow you into repentance and self-correction if you yourself are unwilling to do it. Number 3, learn how to speak without destroying each other. This is one of the biggest things in marriages is that we forget somehow that Proverbs 18 tells us that the tongue has power of life and death. Some marriages are bleeding from words. There's sarcasm and insults. There's a constant threats of divorce, or you are always yelling or name calling, public embarrassment. Those things happen in seconds, but their effects can last for years. For years. The goal is to speak truth without tearing apart the other person. The goal is not silence. And this should change how Christian spouses talk to each other. Establish one rule. And I know it's hard. My wife and I are not perfect. No yelling, no insults, no divorce threats, and no using old wounds as weapons. If the conversation gets too heated, you will take a break and you'll return to it when both of you can speak out of self-control. Husbands, I don't know a husband who wants to be called an abuser, but verbal abuse is absolutely abuse. And wives, don't act like it's only a man who can be verbally abusive. Watch what you say to each other. Number 4, you got together because you loved each other and served one another. A marriage often begins to heal when both people stop asking about what are they getting and they go back to remember, what can I give? It's a service to each other. A Christian marriage is shaped in the same kind of love that we see in Mark 10:45, that he did not come to be served, but to serve. That does not mean that you become a doormat, and it means intentionally choosing love even when your feelings are maybe not carrying you. Like, husbands, wash the dishes, make coffee, send texts, give hugs, ask about their day, put your phone down, sit beside them, say thank you. Small acts of love begin reopening doors that resentment has closed. Your relationship wasn't built on one grandiose act of love, and it will not be repaired on one either. Number 5, rebuild your friendship. Sometimes the intimacy of marriage is not destroyed by one terrible event. It's because two people stop knowing each other. They talk only about their children, or they'll talk only about their bills or their schedules or their works. They become transactional, but they no longer talk about their dreams or their fears or their faith or their goals or what's actually happening inside of them. Remember, Ecclesiastes 4:9 says 2 are better than 1. Marriage is actually supposed to be a partnership. So start becoming their friend again. Go for walks, eat your dinner without your phone, ask questions of your spouse, put them first. You may not feel deeply connected at first, and that's okay. But connection is often rebuilt through intentional time together. Something as simple as just 1 hour of the week where you don't talk about work, your children, or anything. I tell my children all the time, I love their mom more than I love them. And I care about her wants and desires way more than I care about theirs. And they're always like, how rude, Dad? Like, how rude? But the reality is I've already spent over 80% of the time I will spend with them. My kids are teenagers. Some of them are already already basically in college. I would hope that my relationship with my wife lasts another 20 something years. So you have to intentionally work on your relationship. If you don't work on your relationship, then it's literally like that old dress that you wore once being eaten by moss in the back of the closet. And then you're like, oh, well, why doesn't this dress work anymore? Or what happened to this dress? Yeah, you threw it in the back of the closet and did nothing with it. If you do nothing with your marriage, you should expect nothing from your marriage. Psalm 147:3 says, he heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. So as always, and I know I sound like a broken record, invite Jesus into your broken places. Some marital wounds are bigger than just communication techniques. There might be adultery or addiction or abuse or years of resentment. There can be deep trauma there. Those situations may require a professional Christian counselor. They absolutely require strong boundaries, and they absolutely require serious accountability. Getting help is not a weakness. Wisdom knows when a problem has become too large to carry alone. But wherever your marriage might be today, begins with this. Stop fighting each other to win. Own your part. Change the way you speak. Serve one another. Attempt to rebuild your friendship and pray. It's going to feel awkward. It's going to feel like you haven't prayed for each other and with each other for years, but just start simple. Marriage restoration doesn't happen overnight, and it's not a quick, easy fix. It happens through hundreds of little wins. It starts with another honest conversation, another apology, another prayer, another day choosing covenant over your own pride and ego, and Jesus specializes in resurrection. So if there is still any humility, repentance, truth, or willingness in the room, don't assume that what feels broken today has to remain broken forever. And don't assume Jesus is going to fix something you're not willing to engage in with him.
If this podcast has blessed you, please consider supporting by visiting our website and making a donation. For more resources, blogs, podcasts, please visit us at HFF.church. Looking for a church home? Join us for Saturday Church in OKC every Saturday morning, starting at 10:30.
Got questions, if you got doubts, if your faith survived the fire and you're still working it out, pull up a chair, don't panic, don't quit, you're listening to the